Hey YouTube, so this is my first video doing the jump cut thing that people always do, so it's not just a bunch of talking heads. My first time doing it, we'll see what happens. I also wrote out a little bit what I want to say, because trust me, I would ramble my ass off if I didn't do this. So last week, I was having a conversation on Facebook about religion with someone. Now, I told him I was going to make this video, and I wouldn't say his real name, so we'll call him Ray. I wanted to make this video just because, to quote Tracy Harris, I think people learn a lot when you make these debates public, or discussions public, rather. So, my goal is not to slander anyone, and I told him that. See, this is the rambling thing. What was interesting about this conversation was that he was taking the common apologist route of saying, well, I disagree with 80% of Christianity, but I agree with some of its beliefs. His exact words were, I do believe in a creator, but I do not claim to be Christian. I believe there is truth to be taken from the scriptures, but that our creator gave us logic and reason to find further truth about him. By the way, he's using him with a capital H. But my question then is, why believe in a creator at all when this belief has caused so much harm and there is no intellectually honest reason for doing so? Why one God and not many gods? Why did you not choose to believe in Zeus? Of course, you're entitled to believe whatever you want, but I'd like to know what the logical path behind it is. So that's a fair question, isn't it? Here's his response. You're again assuming that I believe in the Christian idea of a creator. I use terms like God and him with a capital H because they are commonplace. It's much harder to explain that I believe that all matter is energy, condensed to a slow vibration, and that energy that comprises existence itself is, in a matter of speaking, the creator. Wait a minute. That means his definition of God actually changed. I pointed out that energy is not conscious, and earlier he had clearly given his God the attributes of a conscious, intelligent being. He said, our creator gave us logic to find out more about him. So this energy not only created, but has a motive. He didn't like that I pointed this out and said I was trying to one-up him or twist his words. Is this one-upping? I hate that expression, by the way. Is this twisting someone's words? Is it? I define God as the energy that comprises existence. He is a conscious being with goals. Well, I see a problem with that definition, like the fact that those two sentences conflict. Stop trying to trick me with my words. But here's the kicker. After initially defining God as energy, he then said, and I quote, it's actually much more complex than that, and there is a lot of math and science involved, mostly probability and physics respectively, but I'll leave it simple for now. Whoa! Wow! If you've got mathematical and scientific evidence for God, that's huge. Forget about me, tell the world. Now, I really want to hear this. I really want to hear his explanation. Nope, he's through talking to me now. It bothered him that I said there was no intellectually honest reason to believe in a God, and he took that as a personal attack. And I was, in his words, trying to take the intellectual high ground. And he didn't want to talk to me anymore because I was so set on being an atheist it wouldn't matter. Oh, wait, didn't he say his God wanted us to use logic and reason? So, I don't know, I'm kind of annoyed with the direction that discussion took, and I think the mistake I made was I made the assertion that there is no rational reason to believe in a God. It's so frustrating because I kept telling him over and over why I thought my assertion was a fair and accurate one. But once his feelings were hurt, he just didn't want to present his side anymore. I should have just asked, what is your rational justification? And then, I don't know what he would have said. I won't speculate, but it'd have been nice to hear, especially the math and physics part. So, to sum this up, here was basically a run-through of what the conversation was. There's no rational reason to believe in a God, or gods. You're so arrogant saying that, implying you're so much more rational than us. Well, okay, maybe I'm wrong. What is your rational reason? Well, this is what I'm calling God and what I believe. It's not about evidence. Yeah, well, that's what rational means.
Oh, the camptown ladies sing the song, do-da, camptown racetrack 5 miles long. Oh,
Now, if you choose to believe it anyway, just on faith, that's fine. You're entitled to do that. but please acknowledge that you're going on emotion. To claim that you have a rational reason is being intellectually dishonest. Well, I have a rational reason, but I'm not going to tell you because you're so bent on being an atheist. If you have a rational reason, it would hold up over my biases. If you did have a rational reason for believing in God, you wouldn't have a problem showing me the evidence. We wouldn't have this discussion. That's what I mean by rational. By the way, I just had to stop the camera to change the battery, and I just took a look at myself, and I look terrible. I know I haven't shaved in a while. I normally look better than this. Please don't judge atheism by how I look. I can be a good-looking guy, just so you know. Little interlude. Now, I'm a big fan of the show, The Atheist Experience, and this conversation has similarities with a lot of their videos. I've actually put a few links in the sidebar. I especially recommend the video, How to Demonstrate God. So I wrote to Tracy Harris from the show, and she got back to me. By the way, unlike Ray, she did give me permission to say her name and quote her. Hi, Tracy. She wrote, I don't think you made a mistake. I think the other party, Ray, was defensive, and you can't have an open, honest dialogue with a person who wants to make you walk on eggshells. Nobody has an obligation to pretend his fantasies are rational, and if that upsets him, he can go discuss it with someone who won't make him cry. I say all the time I don't get offended, and I'm not kidding. I have no sympathy for anyone who gets offended. It's a ridiculous emotional manipulation tactic. Alright, so this has been a long video, so let's wrap this up. Here's the moral of the story. 1. You can't have it both ways. You can't get mad at being told you don't have a rational justification, but then also say, well, I don't need evidence for my belief. 2. Don't claim you have math and physics to back up your point, only to then choose not to provide it. Now, maybe he did have this evidence. I'm not saying he didn't, but I really wanted to hear it, and apparently I'm never going to now because of my arrogance. 3. Stop calling us arrogant all the time. What arrogance? I'm just asking you this, and I'm not trying to pick a fight. What is the arrogance here? Actually caring if what you believe is actually true. Is that arrogance? It is because of our desire to learn more about the world and ask questions and not be satisfied by what the status quo believes that we have had breakthroughs in science and technology. Copernicus, Galileo, they changed the world because they looked for evidence. We have made breakthroughs in modern medicine because we've studied what makes reality work. We are not the arrogant ones simply because we care about what's true. What is arrogant is to maintain that nobody can ever ask you to support your claims. For all you people out there who like to say, well, I'm religious, but so what, maybe I'm wrong, but it's not impairing my judgment or having any negative effect on me. Well, you know what? If it bothers you when atheists ask for evidence, or you think asking for evidence all the time, this obsession with evidence we have is an unreasonable reaction, or when we criticize or challenge these beliefs that you admit you kind of are just going on faith, then yeah, your religion has impaired your judgment. Oh, but beliefs are personal. That is the most BS argument in history. You can't criticize it because it's personal. Oh, I think it's okay to condone mass genocide, but please don't criticize my beliefs. They're very personal to me. And finally, because I know you're getting sick of this ugly mug here, and I really do look better than this, I promise. I'm doing this at the end of the day. Finally, to those who claim that atheism is a belief structure just like other religions, and I've been hearing this one a bit lately, it obviously isn't one, because what's the structure? There's no dogma or tenets or teachings, but you know what? Let's say you're right and atheism is a religion. Okay, fine. It's the only religion I know of that uses inference and logical arguments. Now, when I go after religion or I start rambling against certain people, I don't do it off of religious fervor, even though they like to say that's what he's doing. But I do it out of a desire for intellectual honesty. I will never commit violence over my belief, because there is no logical pathway between my belief and violence. I don't condemn people or do terrible things derived from atheism, because there's nothing in atheism that can be derived, like there is in religion. The only fanatical thing I do is I talk. I speak and engage. And yeah, sometimes I call people out on their BS. So to all atheists out there, never be afraid to speak out. After 9/11 and the hypocrisies of the Bush administration, we should care what other people believe. We should ask questions. There are 7 states in the US where it is illegal for an atheist to hold public office. That's why we have to speak out and have a voice. I'm gonna end this video with a quote from the song by Holly Near. I ain't afraid of your Yahweh. I ain't afraid of your Allah. I ain't afraid of your Jesus. I'm afraid of what you do in the name of your God.